So back to the Browns franchise. Last week we went and played the game. I believe this conference championship game. And I just want to go and do a quick playoff recap for the Browns. And then we'll go and check out the Pro Bowl and stuff. So obviously divisional game, our first franchise mode playoff game against the Chiefs. We won that one 34-24. Actually a pretty good game though at Keeper Pop though. He had a great game against Hodgson and those Chiefs. But Pop had 305, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception on the day. Not too bad, 118.8 passing rating. Hodgson had 123.1 passing rating, 301, and 2 touchdowns. So good game out of both those quarterbacks. When it comes to rushing the football though, Duke had 61 on the ground, 14 carries, and 1 touchdown for 4.4 per carry. And Jamal Charles 59, 35 on his first carry. The rest he only had, was it? Almost like 25 yards on 15 attempts. That's just terrible though. He had a terrible day after that first rush. But he had a touchdown on the day. And Pop had 1 using his legs, 3 rushes, 3 yards, and a touchdown. So receiving the football though, let's check out the receiving yards. So we do have Maramosa 134, 5 receptions, 1 touchdown, 26.8 per reception. Stallings at 79, Gilmore at 68, Kelson 66, Corey Coleman 57, 3 receptions, 1 touchdown. We had Urbic at 48, Macklin at 44 and a touchdown, and that's basically about it. So blocking, what's this? Only 1 for the Chiefs. Defense though. Our defense, Ibrahim Moore Sr. 9 tackles, 1 for a loss. Godfrey 8 tackles, Lacey Green Nelson 7 tackles, Grayson 6. Let's see sacks though. We had 1 sack to Ogba, and only sack of the day was for Ogba, so that's pretty weird to see that. But interceptions though, we do have 0 on the day for our defense. Kicking the football though, Gordon Chung 2 for 2 on the day, 53 yards, that was his longest field goal. And punting the football, only 1 punt the entire day for Sam Martin. Kick return was that, and punt return was that. So great game against the Chiefs. We won that one, moved on our first conference championship game in a long time for the Browns in real life. But in that game, we won 27-6, and we're heading to the Super Bowl. So Miami Dolphins, though, we had a decent day, I guess. Cooper Pop had a terrible day throwing the football, though, considering his interceptions. But other than the interceptions, though, if he got rid of those interceptions, he had a great game, though. He was passing the football correctly, and the only reason why he doesn't have more touchdown passes is the fact that we always ended up on the 1 or 2 yard line every single deep pass. So it's pretty bad to see that. But Pop, though, 293, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions on the day, 74.4 passing rating. Tannehill, not that much better either, 89.9 passing rating, 313, and 1 interception on the day. So rushing football, Duke Johnson had the biggest game of his career, and he stepped big, and he's the only reason why we're in the Super Bowl at this point, though. 178 on the ground, 6 carries, 2 touchdowns, 29.7 per carry is pretty good, though. It's some pretty decent numbers, but McKinnon 45, and that's about it. So receiving the football, receiving yards, we have a lot of receiving yards, though. Carew had 154, Urbic had 101 and 9 receptions, Corey Coleman had 75, Sutter had 65, and Duke Johnson had 33 and a touchdown on that game. That's about it. So blocking, who do you have in here? We have 2 for Tyler and 1 for Lermy Tunzel. So no sacks blamed on our offensive line. But Browns defense, so we have Alec Godfrey 9 tackles on the day, 2 sacks. He had a great game when it comes to fantasy points. But Eli Apollo 7 tackles, Glenn Williams had 7 tackles. Let's see sacks. You have let's just go through the sack lines. So we have a lot of sacks in this game though. 2 sacks, Alec Godfrey, 1 sack out of Lacey Green Ellis, 1 from Emery Youngblood, 1 from Agua, and 1 from Adamka Sue against his former team. And kicking the football, we do have 2 for 2 from Gordon Chung, once again 45 yards out. It's his longest field goal on the day. Punting, we had 1 punt. Kick return, we had no kick returns on the day. And punt return, we had 2 from Mike Allen. So that was the game though. It got us to the Super Bowl. Now we're finally at where we are. But when it comes to the rest of the NFL for our playoffs, so check this out. So go through wildcard and stuff. So right now it looks like the Steelers went and won against the Houston Texans, move on to the divisional. Buccaneers went and lost the Falcons there 24-10. Chiefs went 131-15 against the Baltimore Ravens. And the Cowboys went and lost the LA Rams 23-21. So now divisional though, obviously we won 1 against the Chiefs, the Packers went and lost, or they won against the Atlanta Falcons, and the Seahawks won against the LA Rams, and it looks like the Miami Dolphins won against the Steelers. So moving on to the next thing though is the Browns and Dolphins, we won against the Dolphins to move on to the Super Bowl, and then it looks like the Seahawks played the Packers and won 28-10, and that's our Super Bowl matchup there in the Super Bowl. So it's Seahawks, Browns Super Bowl, pretty weird to see that though. We have the MVP Russell Wilson going in against Keeper Pop. So when it comes to MVPs, though, going into the Super Bowl, it's not good at all. Like, MVPs usually suck when it comes to the Super Bowl. In real life, though, I believe it's 0 for 7 when an MVP plays in the Super Bowl in the same year they won MVP. So it's pretty bad for that. But we'll go to player stats, though, for that game against, really, for the Packers and the Seahawks. But Aaron Rodgers, though, 39.2 passing rating, 261, 4 interceptions, 0, a big goose egg for touchdowns. But the MVP, Russell Wilson, 152, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 104.5 passing rating. So he didn't really have that many passing yards. Must have been rushing the football was the majority of the yards on the day. But Lynn Sloan, 98 on the ground, 22 carries. It looks like Eddie Lacy had 52 and a touchdown. And Pros had, I don't know how to say that too much, but 50 yards and 1 touchdown on 15 carries. So they ran the football tremendously that game. But receiving yards, we have 7 receptions, 89 yards for Randall Cobb. We talked Baldwin in a great game. Let's see blocking. Anyone let up sacks? That's the sacks thing. Defense, though, we have Nick Perry, 11 tackles. Let's see sacks, though. Nobody had that beastly of a game, I guess. Nick Perry, the most tackles, but that's about it. Interceptions, though. We have 2 interceptions from Bobby Wagner, 1 from Richard Sherman, 1 for Barrington, and 1 from Cam Chancellor. So the Seahawks defense still tip-top here in 2019. And field goals, 1 for 2 for Andrew Franks for the Packers. Any kick return touchdowns? No, right there. No punt return touchdowns either. So that's the game that went and formed the Super Bowl matchup here between the Seahawks and the Browns. Here for the Vince Lombardi Trophy here. It's Sunday at 6:17 p.m. So now after that, we go to what our Pro Bowl matchups are, or what our Pro Bowl teams look like this season. So I know for sure we have quite a few Pro Bowlers on our team, though. Our team did very well this season. So here's starters for your NFC versus NFC matchups. You have Russell Wilson taking on Keeper Pop here on the AFC. So Keeper Pop, that's your Super Bowl matchup when it comes to quarterback too. You have Russell Wilson versus Pop in the Super Bowl. When it comes to the rest, you have Aaron Rodgers and Ben Roethlisberger, Jared Goff and Blake Bortles. When it comes to running backs, you have Zeke and we have David Johnson, Thomas Rawls, Devontae Freeman, Doug Martin, and it looks like Egba went and got onto the Pro Bowl. For fullbacks, though, you have Lonnie Pryor, and we have DeMarco, Reese, and Janovic. And when it comes to wide receivers, though, we have Wilson, and we have Julio Jones, Randall Cobb, and DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, Des Bryant. We have Robinson, we have Antonio Brown. Let's see our Pro Bowlers, though. At tight end, we have Scott Urbick there, who is on the Pro Bowl as a 3rd member there for tight end. Left tackle, we have Joe Thomas again. Then at left guard, we have Joel Bitonio starting at left tackle. Then at center, you have Carty Warfield starting at center. So we have 3 offensive line starters so far on the Pro Bowl. Then at right guard, we have 4 now with Antoine Grace. At right tackle, we have Julius Creighton, and we have Brendan Brzezinski on there, backup at right tackle. So somehow backup right tackle makes it into the Pro Bowl here. And it looks like our entire offensive line is in the Pro Bowl, which is incredible. So our offensive line is beastly this year for running the football and passing the football too. Any other starters, though? We do have Jonathan Newsom's on there too at right outside linebacker. We do have Prince Mukamara, Delvin McCourty, Eric Berry there too. Anyone else? You have Sam Martin at punter. So our punter Sam Martin is a Pro Bowler here. We have Samuel Odom, our kick returner, is a Pro Bowler. So Odom, he's our backup wide receiver, our starting kick returner. He did well this season. He's a Pro Bowler. So that's pretty good, I guess. Now his progression is going to go way up, though. 73 overall now instead of 68. And Brzezinski, though, 76 overall now after getting that progression from becoming a Pro Bowler. So, yeah, we had a lot of Pro Bowlers this season. I'll count them out. So we do have 1 from Odom, 2 from Sam Martin, that's 2. So 2 from special teams. 2, where is it? Now we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it looks like 10 from our man Keeper Pop. So 10 Pro Bowlers on the team compared to, I believe, like 2 or 3 last season. So just amazing this season on how well our team played and so on. So 10 Pro Bowlers, not too bad, I guess. So we'll move on to the next thing, which is our Super Bowl matchup in the next episode. So at this point, we're 11-5. Browns taking on, but let's check out the Seahawks. So I know they're the best team in the NFL last season, or this season. It looks like Russell Wilson won MVP. I believe Pete Carroll did not win Coach of the Year, but he was close to that. I believe he was 2nd in Coach of the Year. But we'll see him the next week, Super Bowl week of, like, we got the chance to go and win the Vince Lombardi Trophy for the first time in years, though, for the Cleveland Browns fan base. So I guess we'll do the scouting first before we go play the Super Bowl there in, I don't know what location it is in. So Skip Bayless, Ross Tucker saying the same things like as usual, but the Super Bowl, let's see this. People have Mason Kozlowski there, and the All-Star game for that. Anyone else though but are my stories? Check this out. So it looks like Browns welcome to the big time by Skip Bayless, Ross Tucker, alternate uniforms. Anything else though? We have like really nothing else on here. And what Skip Bayless said, this is proof positive why the Browns GM went out and hired Sonny Weaver Jr. Expected this result all along, exactly how we basically planned it out from the beginning. So moving on to Super Bowl here, first Super Bowl in this franchise mode. Hopefully go and take this one, but I guess I'll end this episode off right here. Make sure to subscribe for more Browns franchise Super Bowl, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.